Hello, my fellow theatre people. It is the first week of Shaketube 2019, where three wonderful booktubers, who I will link down below, are reading the plays of Shakespeare. Each one of them has picked a different play for each week, for the first first three Saturdays of September, and then on the last Saturday of September, they're going to be doing the Two Gentlemen of Verona altogether. This video is for the Twelfth Night, which was Jason at Old Blues chapter and verses, Old Blues chapters and verse pick for a play, and I will put a link to his video of his discussion of this play down below. This is Shakespeare somewhere between. Twelfth Night is maybe written around 1601, performed 1602, something in there, somewhere in that transfer from Elizabeth to we're into, I think, into James. A play written Twelfth Night for a Christmas festival. It's one of those plays. Actually, this will be something I should watch Jason's video. I will do that probably after this. Of like, well, how is this a Christmas play? It's like Die Hard is a Christmas movie. We all know that. But how is Twelfth Night a Christmas play? Who knows? Maybe it's just because it's got that winter feel to it. It's somewhere between kind of a comedy and there's a kind of something between comedy and sadness. In this play. This play famously starts with the line, "If music be the food of love, play on." But it goes, "If music be the food of love, play on. Give me excess of it, that surfeiting the appetite may sicken and so die." So we go, there's that kind of ebullient kind of opening line, but then it's like, so my appetite for it may sicken and so die. So like I might fall out of love. There's that opening line of this Duke has fallen in love. This Orsino, Duke of Ilium has fallen in love with Olivia. Has fallen in love with Olivia, who is forsworn men because her brother has died. Has forsworn men for 7 years because her brother has died. And, he takes on a young servant called Cesario, who is an actual fact, Viola, who suffered a shipwreck and thinks her brother has died. And so has taken on, as Emma Smith in This is Shakespeare, which I am also reading for Shaketube. I will get to that and another book later in a additional video today. Has for no particular kind of reason decided, oh, I'm going to just kind of dress up as a man. But she sort of says, oh, I'm going to dress up as a man, and in doing that, I've kind of recaptured my brother's likeness, because I guess, I don't know if they're twins or if they just look enough alike that when she takes on a male form, she becomes Sebastian. Well, not because she doesn't take his name, but she takes kind of his visage. And indeed, later when Sebastian, who of course, spoilers, is not dead, shows up, he gets mistaken for her, and hilarity ensues, as they say, because it's a Shakespearean comedy. No one gets stabbed to death in this one. I don't think. No one does. There's also kind of a comedic subplot where a uppity Stuart Malavio, who is overly kind of stern and not really liked by the people around. He's a servant of Olivia, who he has fallen in love with. They decide to play a really cruel joke on him and say, oh, she loves you, and that you got to do all these things and have cross garter stitch garters and act a certain way and smile manically all the time because she loves to see you smile. And she's like, I'm in mourning, and I liked you being kind of grim and dark. That was the thing that actually was good as a servant, is you suited my mood, but now you've become some kind of manic hi all the time, which really pisses her off. And he is, and indeed, at the end of this play, we have people who get married and are happy, but you have someone like Malavia who gets humiliated and kind of swears revenge. Is 13th Night where he comes back and then the stabbing commences, or is it just like, there's that hurtness? One of the other people in this play, which Emma Smith does a really good job of, it's her thesis in her chapter on Twelfth Night, is talking about this very minor character called Antonio, who is at the beginning of the play is a friend of Sebastian. And Sebastian at the beginning also sort of says, "Oh, my name actually is Sebastian. I was lying to you. I'm of a much higher status, and I have to go to God, I got my name. I'm sorry, I've got too full of Shakespeare. I have to go to my sister, and you can't come with me. It's not you, it's not me." And it's like, and they seem to have this very, even reading it, you go like, wow, they really have a very close relationship in it. They're talking about loving each other. And indeed, Emma Smith talks about in one of these productions of the play, they have this conversation as they're getting dressed, sitting in an unmade bed. So, kind of it's a love relationship. And indeed, Antonio seems to so much love Sebastian that he follows him. But it's one of these things. And at the end, you have, she makes a point of, you have this character on the stage, but you don't give him any lines. Like, why would you do that? Because she calls attention to the mechanics of putting a play like this on, that you have, there maybe would be 11 players, and you have people that would double parts just to try and get it, but you couldn't actually double Antonio's part to kind of for economy, so you didn't have to like have another actor. He's on the stage at the end, but it's silent. Like, why would you waste those resources? Why would you have this character who's kind of declared it? So when you have this character who's declared kind of a love for this man, for Viola's brother Sebastian, you have him at the end, and Sebastian is getting happily married off to Olivia. Spoilers again, I guess. Again, but you have him on the stage with no lines. Like, why would you waste that? Why did you bring him on the stage if not to have an actor have some sort of reaction to that? Of, again, you have Malivio being humiliated. You have this other fellow who it's like, I love Sebastian, and here I am seeing him get married off to another woman, because he doesn't particularly, he may have liked me. He might, I'm not, any port in a storm, but at the end he is going off with, he's getting married to this woman. Now, there's also good points to be made that we're talking about a time where there's erotic loves that were, how do you put it? It's identity. That you, because you sleep with a man doesn't make you something in this world, as it does in our modern world, where that labels you, I guess, as as variety of labels of being bisexual, of being gay, polyamorous, we have identities now, whereas this was not something that was set at that point. And there's male relationships could be a lot more intimate than they are in our modern age. This is a play that definitely is talking about gender identities. You've got you have Olivia, who falls in love with Viola in her guise as Cesario. Which gets resolved at the end because, oh good, here comes a guy who looks exactly like Viola does at Cesario, and he's a man, so we can safely kind of marry him off. And it kind of the comedic thing of restoring order, I guess that restores an order. However, you have that kind of that good hunk of the play where things are mixed up, and it's comedic hilarity, but it's also, it's like a woman loving another woman, and it's like, is she loving his guise, or is she loving the woman behind that guise? She's loving the person. I'll have to get to Jason's video and think, because he uses a different surtitle, but it's 12th Night or What You Will, and there's a thing of what you will, of like, will as in a kind of a sexual thing, of a sexual desire of what you will. You know, it's like you're going to love who you love. So, you know, Olivia is going to love Viola. You know, Orsino is like, oh, I have these feelings towards this guy Cesario. How am I supposed to feel about that? Does it give me kind of pause? It's not something that's going to be able to get consummated as a marriage. So at the end, when it's revealed that, Cesario is a female, it's like, oh, well, then I can have that kind of societally kind of acceptable relationship, which isn't to say, I mean, at the end, another way to put it, it would be like, you know, perhaps Sebastian and Antonio will still have a relationship. You know, it is poly, you can have poly relationships where, you know, you have people who love more than one person in a relationship, though that seems very difficult to me. I have trouble enough with one. But yeah, so those are, I guess, some of my jumbled, rambling thoughts about Twelfth Night. You know, it's one of those, I think I enjoy my comedy sad, with a little darkness to them. I mean, slapstick, super energetic, fun, kind of zooming around is great. It's great to have something where, it's maybe a little bit more wintry. There's a sadness. There's a little bit of snow on top. There. That's my theory of Twelfth Night, of this, winter festival play, while we're all bundled together, huddling for warmth, huddling against your best friend who you maybe have feelings for. All right. Yes, and now there'll become more videos today and more videos later. Bye for now.